Chief here, and I have another thought. Today, I was thinking about obsolescence, and how, not in terms of like, old ass, like a ColecoVision or laser discs, or cassette tapes, even though I know there's some collectors of all that bullshit out there. Or, what else is obsolete? I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head. Hella shit. 8-track, mostly involving entertainment, VHSs and, But what they're really trying to make obsolete is the American worker, and actually people in general all over the world over. We're going to see, if we're not seeing it already, robots doing most of our jobs. And that's been proposed and actually predicted for, probably over 20 years, how robots are going to take over our jobs. And even the elite now are actually admitting that humans are necessarily going to be obsolete. Not actually putting together that, or letting us know, that us not having a purpose, at least us not waking up every day, and not saying that a 9 to 5 is a purpose, because it absolutely isn't, but it actually is a means to an end. We need to pay our bills and things of that such. But what they're trying to do is makes us obsolete in the workplace, so they don't have to pay us a livable wage or insurance or any of those different things. So they can control us more, actually. And we all think that the corporate structure is controlling us, because it was. It's like a indentured servitude to a degree, because if you don't work, you can't pay your bills. And nobody wants to be homeless for the most part. I think most of us, even to deal with homelessness, we need to go talk to the homeless, because a lot of them want to be homeless. Because they don't want a 9 to 5 and they don't want to be in the rat race. But I've spoken about that before. But they're trying to make us obsolete to control us more. And then once they start instituting this universal basic income, and that's why they're purposely putting in these mandates, because they understand that the human is going to naturally resist these just draconian and this draconian coercion, if that makes any sense. Where they're actually trying to say that, hey, you can't have a job unless you get this procedure or this medicine, despite the waning efficacy of the medicine, where they have to make up these whole bunch of qualifiers for how it actually protects you, when it actually doesn't, especially if they're not being forthright with all the information regarding this, and they're always, counting cases instead of denoting the severity of the case and the injuries and different things of that nature. They're only focusing on what the disease does and not what the medicine does. And that's with every medicine. There's some sort of side effects, but that coercion is to get us to not be used to not working, and also to institute universal basic income, so we're under their control, and then also they'll know how much money that we have in our bank accounts, because they'll be controlling the flow of money in our lives. And also that universal basic income is going to be based on a cost of living that they set based upon the parameters of the economics of your neighborhood, which are always going to be robotic based, from the fast food restaurant to the grocery store, where it's going to be self-service. It's all going to be contingent on our obsolescence. And what they're trying to do, especially with this Facebook metaverse and all these other virtual reality programs, is do some literally film shit. Like it's been predictive programming for a long time. What they're trying to do with us is trying to deflect, trying to get us to engage with an alternate reality, if this isn't one, so that they can shape the reality outside of us in the image that they want, which is it's going to be a dystopian, desolate hellscape, where they're at the top of the mountain and they're behind the castle walls or the gates, and we're just on the outside, living in this forced peasantry, because they're the ones who control all the industries, and they found that we're not needed in those anymore. You know, so we have to fight this obsolescence, and it's not just by creating art. Because I know that a lot of people will be like, well, I'm so glad that I'll have a universal basic income because I can focus on my art, you know, and create. You know, artists, although a lot of us are, like, we don't remiss to admit it, you know, artists have to make money through their art. And most of us won't make any in our lifetime. We'll actually lose hella money creating it. I've already came to grips with that. I'm just going to keep creating shit no matter what, and it's just in me, in my blood, and in my spirit. Thank you, Most High, for giving me that spirit. And that's why I know that I will never be obsolete. At least in the minds of the elite, I probably already am. But you know, to myself and to my family, I know that I'm going to be someone who is very much needed, and someone who actually is going to be the strength. I'm going to be the elitist in my household, the elite in my household, and help not control with an iron fist, and not make sure that people are, my family is not, you know, treated as peasantry, because we all have our roles, and we're all equal in those roles, but we're not all equal on the hierarchy in the family structure, if that makes any sense, and I think it does. So we're not going to be obsolete in the lives of the people around us. But in terms of our place in this society, where our votes are already not obsolete, but they don't mean a goddamn thing. Especially if like with these past elections, and like we can't even ask questions about them. Especially in this new digital age where it's so easy to, you know, hack something, or you know, like we can get hacked by just pressing a button on our phone. Like I would not be surprised if they said that I voted, like in these past California election and in the past election, the presidential election. I would not be surprised, because I didn't shit. I ain't voting for a goddamn thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if they said I voted. How all these you know, these inquiries and these suspicions are not being investigated. Because number one, it's not part of the program of the elite, who are trying to make us obsolete, and they need to get their people in place to actually force the programs that they want that are going to make us obsolete. Man, I just don't know what to say, because this world is going to a crazy place, and I feel like, although I know a lot of people are seeing it, not enough people are seeing it. And with these things that are going to make us obsolete, like even this, like again, this metaverse shit where we're supposed to enter in this other reality, we're actually trying to make the world around us obsolete. And like I spoke about the family, well, a lot of people are going to retreat to these digital families and these digital vacation spots. You know, from the center of their living room, like we're already kind of ostracizing ourselves with the technology that the elite are creating. And making sure that we need them in our lives to function properly. And we're already ostracizing ourselves from our family and our communities based upon our obsession with these technologies, and trying to actually run from the family, even though the family structure and the family has been destroyed and the elite have ensured it. You know, we're doing so on our own accord, through just the want to escape, and through this escapism, maybe caused by the 9 to 5. You know, maybe there is something that we can do about modifying the system, so we're not, there is no equity or equality, but there's people who have the ability to go to careers and have businesses and own their own businesses that actually make them function in society. Like maybe we don't need more. We don't need mass production. We don't need an Old Navy or a Gap or even these high-end fashion brands. That's another thing with the climate change shit. These high-end fashion brands that all these scumbags and Jordans and all these Gucci shit and Versace and Yves Saint Laurent and shit, who also use low-wage labor in Italy. They're like, it's made in Italy. They also use low-wage labor in Italy and all these other places. I don't know what the fuck you thought. And they gotta ship that bullshit overseas so you can spend all these highest prices to buy that moist ass shit and look like a fucking scumbag with all these goddamn logos being walking advertisements for these piece of shit clothing brands. Holy shit. But we need to make that shit obsolete. God damn, those status symbols, man. That shit needs to get the fuck out of here. Because that hurt what we're actually, you know, our, damn, somebody's walking in. So, you know, we need to, damn, I got distracted, I'm sorry. We just need to ensure that we stake our place in the society and with our families, and understand that they cannot make us obsolete if we don't want them to. That it's incumbent upon us to build a society that we want, and not to be forced by these elitists, by these globalists, by these pedophile, rapists, drug addicted, ugly. They're all ugly as fuck too. That's how you know they're like ghouls and goblins and demons. Because God don't like ugly motherfuckers. And he's not talking about the spirit. He's not just talking about the spirit. So I was just fucking with you. But, you know, we need to make them obsolete. We need to make sure that we are not buying into these fucking large-ass, bullshit-ass corporations and making them billions of dollars while they laugh at us because we keep buying their bullshit and then tell us that we're responsible for what ails the earth. Because we're buying into what they're forcing down our throats. We need to find a way to make that stuff, those things obsolete, and get back to focusing on things in the real world. Like they're trying to make books obsolete. You know, even like with a digital creation, like, you know, really great photography can be fabricated in Photoshop and with filters, or made. I guess it could be considered great, you know, and I'm not shitting on the digital creators. But, you know, just for example, or like films are all CGI nonsense. We need to make that shit obsolete and actually start flexing our creative muscles and actually trying to take things back a little bit and step back a little bit and start looking at our environment and understand like, hey, we're following these people down a path that is just going to lead to our personal destruction and obsolescence. Where we're all going to have to be fucking artists or podcasters or some shit, hoping that somebody grabs onto us. And they're actually going to make it obsolete for us to actually have any upward mobility through their manipulation of currency and everything, which is already happening with this like rapid and mass inflation that no one's talking about, that they're not doing shit about either. They're just talking about it's a good, like, oh my god, the media. Oh, I hate them. I don't hate them, but they're just the most despicable. Oh my god, I can't believe people quote them and follow them and listen to them. Oh man. But we're not obsolete, and they can't make us that. It's our job to make them obsolete and their products obsolete and get back to connecting with each other in a real space. And even though all these robots are coming, we don't have to go to the places that are patronizing those. Any restaurant or we shouldn't be eating at fast food places any goddamn way. All that manufactured bullshit ass food. Any grocery store that doesn't have a bellboy or girl, not a bell, but a baggers, that doesn't have cashiers, that doesn't have people helping old women get things off the shelves, off the top shelves, or old men getting things off the top shelves. Any of these stores who are trying to limit human interaction, which is also what the scamdemic is trying to do, is make us seem that we don't need human connection, that you know, that it's obsolete for us to feel for our neighbors and everything, which they've already done that too. I keep blaming them, but it is us who are just listening to these people and you know, not necessarily being more neighborly with each other. I don't know. That's my thought of the day. Chief again, and I would like to thank you for listening to my inane pontificating. Please like and subscribe to Bad Thoughts Publishing Company on YouTube. Thank you so much.